Wake up and ball, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. It was a tough one last night. It took everything I got, but I'm here to wake up and ball. Oh, man. I hope y'all having a beautiful morning. I went to bed at about 4 a.m. Tough night, man. Woo! At least we got wake up and ball this morning. That always excites me. I'm ready. I'm gonna need y'all help this morning. I am solo. I'm your host, Tony Dowe. I hope y'all have a beautiful Friday. I know many of you all are off from work. So I hope you enjoy your time off. For those who do have to work, I can see that you're going out there to get it right now. Understandable. Good morning. JD the Great, salute to you, homie. George, I love you. Chris, P-Game CV, DD, what up? My Holy King, I see you. Thank y'all for waking up and balling with me this morning, man. Yeah. All right, we got a lot to recap this morning. Ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting into the Dolphins Packers recap. Dolphins Packers, that was a game. And then the Bears Lions recap. We also, if I'm not mistaken, have the Cowboys Giants recap as well. Get into that. Then we want to preview a few games, you know. There's some games we definitely want to preview. Woo! I'm kind of losing my voice. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm kind of losing my voice, all right? But we're gonna make it through this morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got a large slate in front of us, so let's go ahead and dive in. I don't want to bore you all. Y'all just give me 1 second because I want to share this video out into the Mediaverse, letting them know that we are live here on Wake Up and Ball this morning. So I'm bringing it up now. Thank y'all for y'all patience. All right, start out going over the Miami Dolphins game versus the Green Bay Packers last night, man. The Green Bay Packers showed us that they're one of the better teams in the NFL last night. They completely dominated the Miami Dolphins for the most part. For those who didn't get a chance to watch the game, there was a point where the game was 24-3, Green Bay. That's tough. 24-3. Pure domination. Now, I know some people will say, well, the Dolphins, you know, they made a little small run trying to come back. To be honest, it was garbage time. It was all garbage time. The Dolphins were soft again. And a lot of people, you know, even Brooks on the Dolphins said it, that the Dolphins were pretty much soft. They let the elements get the better of them. The narrative is official, ladies and gentlemen. The Dolphins, against a good team, they can't win in cold weather. They shrivel up, they shrink, they can't play well enough in cold weather. It's a fact now. It's no longer a narrative. It has officially become a fact. Okay? Overall, the Miami Dolphins team, it wasn't one person that really killed the Dolphins. It was the entire team. It was the entire team, ladies and gentlemen, that literally killed the Dolphins. Malik Washington started the game with a fumble, a muffed kick, giving Green Bay the ball right there at like the 8-yard line. Then from there, the penalties started to stack up. And then early in that game, Tua Tagovailoa had like 2 bad drives, one where he's doing 360s in the pocket and he don't know what the play is. Is he supposed to throw it in the flat? No. Or is he supposed to hand it off? He took 2 sacks on the first drive, stalled out the second drive or the third drive. He just overthrowing receivers. And then he kind of tightened up for the most part of the rest of the way, but it was too late at that point. It was too late at that point. I can't say much about the receiving core. It's not like they were dropping passes. They were open for the most part. But Mike McDaniel got out coached because we only got what Green Bay allowed us to get for the most part of the night. The stats, so you'll think that the Miami Dolphins offense absolutely went off when you look at the stats, but it wasn't even close. Like I said before, a lot of it was in garbage time. No run game. I mean, we have several weeks now where the run game has been absolutely demolished. Absolutely demolished, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Defense got absolutely gashed for the most part of the game. Jordan Love in the offense literally just took their time and they went off on the Dolphins. Absolutely went off. They got everything they almost wanted. And now don't get me wrong. It felt like the defense made a few plays throughout the game, a few stops. But overall, man, Jordan Love and company, they did a lot of what they wanted to do. What are the Dolphins going to do, y'all? Tua is now 0 for 8 in weather under 45 degrees or lower. What are we going to do? What are the Miami Dolphins going to do from here on out? I'm going to be honest with you. It's almost like there is no solution. We're just going to have to be stuck with this team for the next 2 years. It's that simple. We're going to have to be stuck with this team for the next 2 years in purgatory. Because when you look at the salary cap situation, it's not much better we can do. We can go get a player or two that's really good, but we're also going to be losing a player or two next year that's really good. Probably Javon Holland and Bradley Chubb. That's exactly what may happen next year. Tough if we're Dolphin fans, man. And we got to live with this and deal with this. Real tough. Shout out to Sko with the donation this morning. He said Jets versus fans going to be more interesting for y'all. Spoiler alert. You're right. The crazy thing is you're right. You are absolutely correct. Look at this stat line. Look at this stat line. Tua is better in every statistical category, but got a worse passer rating. That also tells you all you need to know. Jordan Love was masterful in this game. Beautiful. I can only recall one bad pass at the beginning of the game where he had his guy for a touchdown and he overthrew it. But Tua's stats are better. But trust me, he played a whole lot worse. And that's the crazy part. This is why Dolphin fans are so enamored with Tua. They're only looking at the stats. They're not looking at the fact that we're leaving opportunities out there. Richie does not join Wake Up and Ball on Fridays. I'm solo on Fridays, ladies and gentlemen. That's typically how it is. All right. I'm solo on Fridays. But look at this stat line. I want y'all to pay attention to that because that is what you need to pay attention to right there. Right there. Once again, Tua had a better day. But he didn't. Stats will deceive you. A lot of Tua's was in garbage time. Man, I'm tired of this mess. Woke up this morning thinking I could shake it off, and I'm going to be honest with you, it upsets me even more. But you know what? Let's move on from this because we got a lot of other games to talk about, a lot of other stuff to get into. I'm not going to let the Dolphins game be my party pooper today. All right. So we also had a game with the Bears versus the Lions. Oh, man, this one was crazy. Caleb Williams, almost 50% passing, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, 98 rating. And let's just call it what it is. The Lions struggled in this game. I think they had one where they took it all the way downfield and even fumbled. But they struggled in this game, and Chicago was poised to either win or take it to overtime. But at some point, the Chicago Bears organization, at least the owner and the fan base, need to realize you need a new coach. I don't blame Caleb Williams one bit for what happened on that last play. Let's not forget, sit here and act like he's not a rookie. That is 100% on the coach. He should have called the timeout. You were already in field goal range. The head coach should have called a timeout. Run your best play to go to the end zone or get a first down, then you go up and you spike the ball. But to set up and actually run a play to try to, it just wasn't smart. As you saw that clock ticking down, you got to have the situational awareness to know the ball isn't being snapped over 10 seconds, so let me call a timeout. They just absolutely blew it. And what a terrible way to lose. And here's the crazy thing. It's like the 5th time this year they lose in the last minute. It's like the 5th time this year that a victory is snatched from the young rookie, who some would argue may have done enough to actually get the win or look like they can at least tie the game. I told everybody when they brought Caleb Williams in, it's not on him or the team. They got a loaded team, but will the coach take them down? Their issue has always been and continues to be coaching. Jared Goff, on the other hand, 21 of 35, much more efficient, 221 and 2 touchdowns, 100.2 rating. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call a Lions struggle game. The Lions actually struggled in this game. This was the game the Lions were to lose. And they still won. That's why they're so good. That's why it's going to be so hard to beat them. Now, I know a lot of people have been giving me flack lately because I think that the Minnesota Vikings are going to win that division and the conference. Maybe not. Maybe not, but I think that the Vikings will do enough to bring it down to that last game to see if the Lions can win that against them. The last game of the season. Lions roll, Bears, you got to move on from the coach and get a new one. It's that simple. Let me check in with the chat real quick, see what you all have to say about it. Man, y'all still on this Dolphins game. Been looking at the comments on IG, and I'm just seeing stupid Dolphin fans defending Tua and getting mad at other people who say they should move on. It's crazy. Here's what I will tell you. The Dolphins aren't moving on from Tua. And I told all Dolphin fans 5 years ago, right before we drafted him, that if we draft Tua Tagovailoa, he's going to be the worst quarterback that we could have. Not because he's not good, but because he's good enough not to be good enough. In my opinion, those are the worst quarterbacks you can have in the league. It's one thing if you got a bad quarterback, at least you get to determine that right away and then you move on. And if you got a great quarterback, at least you can determine that right away and be happy. But the worst quarterback you can have is the one that isn't bad enough for you to ever feel like you want to move on from, but isn't good enough to get you over the hump. They occupy your organization for 7 to 12 years until you finally realize, in which you still have a controversial decision to make, but you finally realize it's time to move on. But they just waste up to 12 plus years of the organization's time. That's who he is. NFC North has the potential to be the single greatest division in history until the Bears decided to not play football. It is what it is. But here's what I will say. It ain't over for the Dolphins. I know some people are like, oh my gosh. It's not technically over. We did have room for one loss maybe, but now we are officially in that do or die. You got to win them all, and you need a little bit of help. Can Miami win them all, though? And will we get the help we need? That's where the chances are slim to none. But there's a chance. Ain't that crazy, y'all? Look how delusional I am. Do we realize it's been 5 years now since we started our rebuild? Actually, 6 years. Look at where we are today. Are we any closer? More talent than we've ever had. Are we any closer? Oh, man. All right, let's move on. I can't keep hampering on last night. I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't get it out of my brain. All right, let's talk about another game that took place last night. I don't know where I put my graphic for that, but it's all good. Cowboys Giants. I'm not gonna waste your time too much on it. Cowboys did what they needed to do. Giants are just that bad. Now, they did make it a fight at the end of the game. They did make it a fight at the end of the game. All right. But at the end of the day, it was too much. They couldn't get it done. And my Jets troll comments aren't even making TD laugh. Hey, this is just sad at this point. I mean, come on, I'm deflated. I mean, y'all want to kick me while I'm down right now. It's already hard enough, and y'all just kicking me while I'm down. But anyway, Cowboys win 27-20. I mean, what is there to really talk about in the game? It's like, is there any highlights or anything that I want to go over? Anything we take away from the game? The truth is no. Two terrible teams. You know, there ain't nothing to talk about in this game. The Cowboys won, as they should have. Giants are just that bad. Drew Lock had an opportunity. I mean, it really didn't matter much. He was also the leading rusher on the team. Giants got to figure it out next year. All right, moving along. Let's get into some of the game previews. The Chargers versus Atlanta. Chargers without Dobbins, ATL looking to stay above 500. Unfortunately, in this game, the Chargers are going to get their get back. They're going to get a victory coming off of a loss that they didn't want to have versus the Ravens. The Chargers are the better team. They got a better defense. They play more sound football. Now, that Dobbins injury could serve to be a big issue in this game. So they're going to have to figure out a way to still create opportunities in the run game without Dobbins and move the chains. Now, Atlanta can sneak up and get a victory. I just don't like how Atlanta's been playing, and this defense, I feel like, will do enough to beat Atlanta. Y'all tell me who y'all got in the chat, but I got the Chargers in this game, and I got them winning about 27-17, and they beat Atlanta. We'll see how it goes down, but yeah. Chargers are the more superior team, but what Atlanta's going to do, they're going to open the door for maybe, you know, another team like the Bucs to have a chance now in that division when they should have been running away with it. So I think this is the game where Atlanta just opens the door right up for the Bucs to have a chance now. We'll see how it works out. Next up, we have San Francisco versus Buffalo, Sunday Night Football. Is this a must-win for the 49ers? Absolutely. There's no question about it. We know this. But I'm going to tell you now, man, Buffalo better be careful because a must-win situation, they say, you know, they might be getting Bosa back. Purdy will be back. Something interesting. If Bosa and Purdy is back, they want to be careful. You never know. They could sneak in and get this victory. Now, Buffalo is rested, but coming off of that bye, sometimes it has you sleeping. Sometimes it has you in your slumber. This could very well be a trap game. And the 49ers will be right back in it. And after beating the Bills, you'll feel like, all right, they about to go on that little run and take over. This is the perfect get-right game for the 49ers. It's just a matter of, are they going to take advantage of this moment? Because the Bills are the better team right now. But the 49ers have been drastically underplaying how good they are, but they've also been banged up. But if they get Bosa back and Purdy's on that field, they might have a chance. Now, McCaffrey hasn't been running the ball well. That's going to be a big concern. But you got a chance when you get some of your players back. All right. McDermott, George said McDermott is undefeated after a bye. Well, there you have it. I mean, maybe he keeps that going. The Bills are a great team, man. There's no mistake in that. It ain't no lying about that. You just got to acknowledge they are a great team. And you got to ask yourself, will they come out and be great? Time will tell, but that's a great game for us to watch together on Sunday Night Football. I will be live for that one on my show. TD Fans Talk as well. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to watch it. We also got a game today, by the way, which on the huddle we'll be giving a live reaction of that game. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. I think that's the one we just talked about, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure. No, it's the Raiders Chiefs. We didn't talk about it, but I'm not gonna really preview that one much because we're gonna do a live reaction on BetUS TV with that one today. So y'all stay tuned for that, all right? All right, so yeah. Next game up, we have Philly versus Baltimore. This is the juggernaut game of the week. Number 1 overall defense takes on number 1 overall offense. This is it right here. This is a juggernaut game, crossing conferences. It helps kind of like, even out the powerhouses of the league. Who's at the top? I'm curious for all of y'all, who do y'all have in the game of Philly versus the Ravens? Who do you guys have in the Phillies versus Ravens game? Shout out to Jesse. What's up, homie? Just curious, who do y'all have? Baltimore will make it look surprisingly easy. Wow. Another Ravens. Wow. I got Baltimore, Philly, but it's close. Ooh, a lot of Ravens. 1 Philly so far. Fly, Eagles, fly. George. I'll tell you this, it'll be a good game. It'll tell you all you need to know about Philly and Baltimore. Here's what I will say. If Philly wins, excuse me, y'all. If Philly wins, they are legitimate, just like the Lions. If Baltimore wins, they need that win to re-solidify themselves as a top 5 team because they've taken some losses to some really good teams. And you could argue they're already top 5, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? And y'all, thank y'all for bearing with me. My voice wants to go out, and I'm trying to hold on to it best I can. So I'm trying to be calm in my conversations. So, yeah, I'll be resting my voice until the huddle after this show today, all right? But I'm going to have to go with Baltimore in this game. I just feel like someone said in the chat, they are the more well-rounded team. And they got like the guaranteed solidified, offense in my opinion. And that ain't to sleep on the Eagles. Great offense, but will that defense do enough against Baltimore? Maybe they can. I mean, teams like the Browns have, teams like the Steelers have, but I'm not sure. We're about to find out. In theory, they should, but I feel like I like the Ravens matchup in this one better than I did against those other defenses. Time will tell. We shall see. But it'll definitely be a great game to watch. We're going to do that one as well. We're going to cover it, all right? All right, last one I want to go over this morning is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Bengals. Put up or shut up time for the Bengals. This is true because a lot of people are sleeping on the Bengals' potential, maybe still trying to make a playoff run. If the Bengals win out, you got to look at how they did it, and it could set the landscape of them actually making it. They haven't played the Steelers yet, and they get to play them twice. So if they were able to beat the Steelers, which they very well could, a division game could go either way. And the Bengals are one team that have shown that they can put up points against any good defense. So it's really about, can they outscore a team? And I think they can outscore the Steelers. The problem is the Bengals tend to get outscored because their defense is that bad. But in this game, I feel like the Bengals will score more than the Steelers and win the game. And if that's the case, you look at the Bengals schedule, if they win out, they could have a shot because they'll be stacking up a lot of conference wins. So in a tiebreaker realm, it could serve them a lot of justice. We really can. Highly unlikely, but here's what I will tell you. If Joe Burrow brings his team all the way back to threaten the 7th seed in the wild card, you got to put him in the MVP conversation if he keeps playing the way he's played all season. If he had a winning record right now, he would be the MVP, maybe even a front runner, because the stats he's been putting up, regardless of how bad the defense is, has been phenomenal. Just phenomenal. It reminds you of that game last night. Y'all see it up there? The game last night, Green Bay won 30-17. Joe Burrow putting up them 30 points. In order to win that game, Green Bay would have needed 40. We would have needed 40. And the crazy thing is, and maybe Green Bay gets it, but I'm just saying it's Green Bay, they took their foot off the gas in pretty much halfway through the third quarter. Then they tightened up at the end. So yeah, I got the Steelers and I got the Bengals in this, and it's not a knock on the Steelers. I just feel like the Bengals are a better team. The record just doesn't reflect it. Shout out to the Red Sox. He said Joe Burrow has 5 games over 350 yards, 3+ touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, 0-1 interceptions, and has lost all of them. Yeah. And I agree, Jesse. Bengals fans and Burrow are seeing what Herbert and the Chargers have been going through. Exactly. This is exactly what I was saying for the last 3 years with Herbert when people wanted to try to trash Herbert for what was going on. I said, the man out here putting up 30 points a game and losing every week. And y'all think it's him? This is why I argue with people with Tua. I say at least be putting up 30 points and losing before you blame the defense. But we be putting up, like you see, 17, and they're like, oh, the defense. You think even if the defense was good, 17 should have been enough to win? No. And them 17, pretty much most of it garbage time. Tyree get a lucky deflection touchdown in the fourth quarter. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But yeah, that leads me to my last segment here. Who wins the AFC and the NFC? Chiefs and Lions at the top. Bills, Eagles trail behind. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right here, right now. At this point, I have the Chiefs winning the AFC, but I ain't gonna lie. If the Chiefs slip up one bit, the Bills might do it, as long as they don't lose to San Francisco this weekend. But I do have the Chiefs winning it, and the Bills are second. Best chances for me. But the NFC, on the other hand, I just keep trying to tell y'all I'm thinking totally different. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to win the NFC. I really do. It's going to come down to that last game of the season, Vikings versus Lions. And I really do think that the Vikings are going to get that win. They're going to tie the record. They're going to go down the list, look at all of it, and the Vikings are going to win the NFC. And also, I think the Lions might have 2 losses. I think the Bills might be able to beat them, and that last game of the season, the Vikings get them. I don't think the Vikings are going to lose another game. I don't. I really don't. And remember when they played head-to-head, Lions won by 2 points. We'll see. Time always tells, but 1 week at a time. This weekend is going to tell us a lot. So in the Super Bowl, now don't get me wrong, if none of that happens, the Lions are going to get it. But I have the Chiefs and the Vikings winning the AFC and NFC. Now, who's going to the Super Bowl? That might be a different story. But just winning the divisions, getting the first round bye, these are the teams that I have. Y'all let me know what y'all think, all right? Jesse says Sammy and Danny Dimes on one team like the Power Rangers. Man, if anybody can revive Danny Dimes, it should be the Vikings. Make him into a comparable player. We talking regular season or NFC Championship? Just regular season, Rich. We'll watch the rest of this play out, and then we'll predict in that last week who's going to win the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship. That's when those predictions will come. That's when those predictions will come, all right? And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this stream is being powered by BetUS. Take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150. Again, that is code YouTube150. If you're looking for a new sports book, BetUS is where you want to be. All right? They have the odds for all the weekend games up now, so you have an opportunity to jump right in on them. Take advantage of that sign-up bonus so that you can maximize your opportunities to win and make money. But if you do it, make sure you gamble responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the largest spread of the weekend may be -13. Kansas City beats the Raiders. I like the Raiders covering this spread, though. I do not like the Raiders winning, but I do like them covering the spread, making it a hard-fought game. And the rest of the games are lined up for the weekend. So go on to BetUS and get yours in and enjoy. And it's not just a sports book, but it also has the live betting, casino, race book, and even BetUS TV, where you can find shows for almost every sport. And don't forget the huddle, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Richie, Dan, and myself. So make sure you come check us out, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank y'all for waking up and balling. We're going to go to the chat real quick. Mojo said, low-key, happy the fans want to keep Tua. That means we get to see this every year. No lies told. No lies told. Let me see. Real talk. We have 79 peeps in here, all different teams. Would you want your favorite team to pay Brock Purdy big money if he was your quarterback? If it was me, Jesse, no. No. Because here's how I feel about that. What has Purdy done that Jimmy G hasn't? Slightly better stats, but you could argue Purdy got the better assembly of weapons. I would not pay Purdy big money. As a matter of fact, I would trade him for assets, as many assets as I can get, and develop another young quarterback and keep all the weapons you can on the roster. And all those assets you get, go in the draft and make sure that you can replace some of those older veterans that's about to move on in their career on that team. That's what I would do. You've proven that you can create quarterbacks that can fit the system to play well enough to go to the playoffs and win playoff games. You just have to figure out how to prove a system that can get you over the top to win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. That's what I would do. Richie said, Jess, I remember when it all four of you guys, Denver Broncos, Rep, Dallas Cowboys, and Detroit throwback. Not sure what y'all are referring to. They both choked in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but that's my point. But now if you pay him, you're going to have to make decisions about less talent around him. And then you become the Miami Dolphins, but at least you had the front end success. But now you're going to basically, if you pay him, become the Miami Dolphins. So, yeah. 50 is way too much. 50 is fair. All right. I mean, that's fine. If you're a 49ers fan and think it's fair, by all means. But look at what's happening to the NFL right now with all these $50 million guys that's fair. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, look at what's happening. Now he's 60-something. It ain't kicking in yet, but right now his 50 or whatever is kicking in. The man was over 50 million cap hit this year. When that got hurt, no, he was playing bad before he got hurt. This team was no good before he got hurt. Look at the Dolphins. This is what you're doing to yourself. Now, if you can reduce the weapons on the team and have a better overall roster, that'd be good. But a lot of these quarterbacks need these weapons. How would Purdy look with Green Bay's weaponry? The Chargers' weaponry. How would Tua look with Green Bay's weaponry or the Chargers' weaponry? That's what you got to think about. How would 49ers and Dolphins look with the Bills' weaponry? Especially when Cooper's hurt. This is how you got to think about it. How would the 49ers and Dolphins look with the Chiefs' weaponry last year, the same weaponry Mahomes won a Super Bowl with? Y'all really think Purdy earned his money? This is part of the problem. You're just falling in love with him because he's holding the team down and he's playing well with the weaponry, in my opinion. You're falling in love with him because he's giving you excitement when you got the weaponry. And you're loving what you're seeing. But when you pay him that money, you can either keep that weaponry and your defense starts to fade, or you can keep your defense and start taking away some of that weaponry from around him. And then you're one of these purgatory teams saying, Purdy got to be better. We know we can. We've seen it. I'm telling you, you're going to have to start making decisions in the future. Decisions that you may not like. And you might come to the realization, wow. I keep trying to tell people this. This is why This is exactly why you got to think about this long term. Jesse said, right. People love when a clear third quarterback plays and sucks like you should, and use that as in I told you so. Purdy deserves to get paid. It's funny. It's a lot of people got to start looking at the bigger picture. Someone said 50 will mean nothing soon. Y'all keep thinking that. Keep thinking that 50 will mean nothing. Some of y'all just don't get it. Oh, the salary cap keeps going up. Ladies and gentlemen, if the salary cap increases 5%, which you got to understand in this NFL, 5% is almost $15 million. Oh, the salary cap keeps going up. People keep thinking that 15 belongs all to the quarterback. The value of every position goes up 5%. Then you start, hey, well, we got extra money to pay Purdy. All right, you pay Purdy. Then you wonder why you're starting to have inferior linebackers. This defense just isn't good anymore. Then you start blaming the defensive coordinator because he can't have the level of talent that you used to. Oh, they got to be better coaching up. Listen, the only way you can sustain is if you're one of the best drafting teams in the league. I could say that about the 49ers in the past, but as of recently, as of late, I'm not sure. I ain't saying they're bad, but I'm not sure that they're drafted as well as they used to. I'm not sure they're drafting as well as they used to. So the only way that you can sustain contracts like that is you got to actually be one of the best drafting teams in the league. That means when you bring in 7 draft picks, 4 of them hit and they're starters now. Like, wow, man, that 4th rounder starting. You know, that 1st rounder better start. That 2nd rounder better start. Oh, the third rounder, you know, he's still a backup, but that 4th rounder hit. Oh, that 6th rounder hit. You got to hit at least 4 out of the 6 starters, not just quality players with depth. Like, you got to keep up so well. You got to be the Buffalo Bills. You got to draft well, and your quarterback got to be good enough to where he can carry the youth and do enough. Our defense chokes anyway. Well, guess what? You give Purdy that $50 million, you think they choking now. You're going to look like the Bengals, but your offense won't be as good as the Bengals. Play game, all right. Y'all will learn. But a lot of y'all don't understand this concept until you actually get into it. And I'm saying all this to say this. If there is a quarterback on the roster or you like in the draft or you see out there that you think that the 49ers can make them just as effective as Jimmy G or Purdy, and you bring him in for the low, less than $10 million, you got $40 million to play with to bolster the roster that you already have. To maybe get that defense back to greatness or whatever. That's all I'm saying. So what would be the better odds? Paying Purdy and taking some of what you have now away, or believing in another guy and then loading up even more around him? People had the same argument with Jimmy G. Man, you got to give him another chance. He's got us to the Super Bowl. Do you know the blessing that Purdy was for the 49ers because of the amount of money that you got to have to pay him? Not much at all. And you could keep all this stuff around him. Y'all pay him, all of that is gone. Now you're going to understand what a lot of other teams understood. See, y'all don't even know what that's like right now in San Francisco because you had Jimmy G for the low, and now you got Purdy for the low. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't even think about salary cap implications. But you're about to. You're about to. You're definitely about to. And again, what I want you to understand is this ain't a knock on Purdy nor Jimmy G. I like Purdy, actually. I feel like he's a little more lucid than Jimmy G was, and, he's a little more focused. But $50+ million. And let me tell you this. Y'all could throw that out there all you want. $50 million is fair. First of all, the market is the market. Purdy can get 60 on the open market. So these negotiations, the man has already been in the playoffs and had playoff success and went far. Like, he's done more than Dak in a shorter amount of time. From a success standpoint, so y'all can throw all that 50 is fair out all you want. The market is the market. I think the conversation might even start in the 60s. And when 49ers balk about it, no. All right, man, our guy might want to be traded. Y'all might come in the next season and then there might be a trade demand. Or he could be moved in the draft. Because there is a team out there, because there are 7-8 teams that need a quarterback in this draft. Go look at it. There are 7 or 8 teams that need a quarterback in this draft. So if y'all get in that 60 million range and stuff, that's really a problem. Matter of fact, now you got me wanting to pull it up. Now I want to pull it up. How many of these teams will be trying to get their quarterback? Watch this. Giants, who have officially been eliminated, the first team now. Raiders, Carolina, Tennessee. Jets need their future guy. The Browns could be looking to bring a guy in and sit him for a year because of their situation. The Saints may be looking for the future. And I'm not going to include teams like the Colts. I'm not going to include teams like that. Is Geno Smith with Seattle a free agent next year? I mean, there's teams. But let's just go with the 7 that are in the top 10 picks right now. Giants, Raiders, Panthers, Titans, Jets, Browns, Saints. You only got Cam Ward and Shedeur that's going in the first round like that. You think there's another quarterback that's first round worthy? So that means that 4 of these teams are going to miss out. And they're going to need to make a decision right away. And you don't think any of these 4 teams will be saying, Purdy, we'll give you 60. They're going to be calling San Francisco. And Purdy's agent's going to know, man, there's teams out there wanting to trade for you that'll give you 60 plus. Jalen Milroe, top 30. I don't think there's another quarterback top 20. I'm not going to sit there. And this is what I'm saying. All these teams got a top 10 pick. And they got to go grab their guy, but they don't want to spend a number 7 overall pick on Milroe or Jackson. Oh, well, they'll trade down. But now if they trade down, they risk another team picking up one of them. They're not going to, and plus they don't look at him as the fit. Nobody's looking at Milroe. I'm talking, nobody's looking at him and saying, oh, yeah, that's our guy. what they're saying is he has something there, but it ain't first round pick. They can't justify that. Too many linemen on the defense and offense going to be available to justify. He got something there. No, top 10 pick, you got to know that you hitting. Last year was already crazy that all those quarterbacks went that early. But that was because look at how many teams needed them. And look how many teams need them again that fast. That's all I'm saying. 49ers, y'all could talk that 50 million talk all y'all want. Who deserves more money, Tua or Purdy? And Tua got 52 or something, 53. So who deserves more money? And then Dak gets 60? Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen. The market is the market. Y'all going to be dealing with a Purdy $60+ million contract. That's the reality. That's your reality. So I'm telling you, you actually have to do something drastic to do better for your team. And that's find a good alternative. You want to know something? You want to make a real move? You want to profit and make a real good move? Maybe you trade Purdy for a couple first-round picks to somebody that's going to pay him that money. Then you go get Sam Darnold next year. With the right structure, Sam Darnold has proven he can deliver the football and play at the Purdy-esque level. Some of y'all may not like that because I'm only basing it off of this one season for Sam Darnold. But I think that with y'all coaching staff, he would be in good hands in San Francisco. And guess what? Yeah, he's going to deserve to get paid next year, but Purdy is going to get paid like the Baker Mayfield money. I mean, not Purdy, but he's going to get paid the Baker Mayfield money. You might be able to get away with a 4 to 5 year deal with Sam Darnold with an AAV of $30 million a year. You might be able to get away with an average annual of 30, and you can backload it to where if it ain't working in 2 years, you can get off of it with minimal dead cap. Like you can do like a 5-year, $150 million contract with about $75 million guaranteed. And you give him a 2-year trial, and if it don't work out, you move on, and you can make it so that he doesn't hurt your cap for the next 2 years. And then on the back end, you don't have this huge ballooned dead cap. You save money and acquire additional draft picks in the process to start to, I'm just saying. Too much time on the 49ers, man. But y'all got a decision to make. Y'all got a big decision to make. All right. Anyway, man, listen, we got almost 200 people rocking with us this morning. 133 on YouTube. If y'all new to the channel, subscribe right now. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Tune in on Monday morning. Richie will be back, and we'll be right here waking up and balling. Woo, we got through, y'all. I need to go preserve my voice for the huddle today, but I want to say thank y'all, man. Y'all enjoy y'all holiday weekend and enjoy this great football coming up. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Don't forget this stream was powered by BetUS. Take advantage of that 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150, all right? Love y'all. I will see y'all on Monday. Y'all had some fun. Love on your family. Let them know that you're thankful that they're in your lives. I'll see y'all soon. Peace. Wake up and ball. I'll see y'all later.